Welcome, Solarah here. I'm here for another blackout message. I'm kind of digging this format. It gives me more of an ability to be spontaneous and to just overwrite all of the attempts to try and silence or inconvenience me not to get messages out. So I'm kind of feeling this format. Let me know how you guys feel about it too. First and foremost, I want to say hi, welcome. Whether you are a visitor or a subscriber, whether you've been here from the beginning or it's your first time, welcome. I will put my disclaimer out there because I forgot to do it on my last video, and it seems every time I don't, it causes issues. Let me just say I'm not for everyone. I'm not here to twist your arm and get you to see things the way I need you to see them because I need to control your narrative. I'm here to share with you the messages I've been given, and if you agree with them, you're welcome to stay and partake and see if you get anything from it. But if it's in disagreement with you in any plane, whether it's spiritually what you believe in, whether it's mentally the stories that you connect yourself to, whether it's emotionally because I've triggered or activated something in you that you don't like, or whether it's just materially, you don't like the sound of my voice, or you don't like me, or you're racist, whatever your reason or your prejudice and your woundedness, or you're just desire not to be in my presence, it's fine. I'm not going to take it personally. We're not here to cater to everyone's taste. Especially those of you, let me put it out there, those of us who are former people pleasers, it's time for us to take our stand and not tolerate or deal with beings who are constantly trying to change us because they don't know how to go within and do the proper changing within self, or regulating themselves, or moving into states and spaces where they actually feel comfortable and aligned. Instead, they must go into another person's energy and then try to shift them to make themselves feel more comfortable. The days of doing that are over. If you come into my energy and you're not comfortable, if you don't like me, you don't like the sound of my voice, you don't like my lisp, because I have one. I do on certain words because I almost got my life taken and I got a tooth taken and I still haven't had that fully fixed yet because it's thousands of pounds or whatever. So if you have an issue with any part of me, please don't write in the comment section what you feel I need to change or amend unless it's an actual issue that affects the entirety of the collective experience, which I can't really think of many. Keep your comments, your energy to yourself, and go and get in where you fit in. And may you flourish in that space. I really do hope that for you, because whenever we are in internal harmony, we add that to the collective spirit of harmony, even when we don't agree or see eye to eye. So go and find your harmony, but don't try to come to bring discord. Sow discord in my peace. Okay? Alrighty. So with that said, it actually is a great segue into the message, the download that I want to begin with. So I kind of touched on this in the video I did a few days ago. I think I published it on Wednesday or Thursday. It's the video where my light bulb died and I was literally left in the dark. And then the next day I had to do the blackout message because of the noise. So on that video that I did, the last actual video I did mention this, but I feel like I'm supposed to go deeper into it because I've just been seeing more in that time. So what was coming through is their secret, quote unquote, secret animosity is no longer a secret. They've lost the ability to keep it hidden. And this was the main download that was coming through. They showed you their hand, and so you now run the game. They once used to run circles around you. They showed you their hand, and so you now run the game they once used to run circles around you. New rules, new management. And this is speaking about your energy field. You have brought yourself under your own personal authority, the rules you have for your energy. You are managing yourself in a different way now. This is what is causing this. So if you haven't done this work, then this message might not be for you. Okay, so new rules, new management. This means that on an energetic level, there's nothing really that cannot be explained by how energy actually works. There's no situation, circumstance, result that can't be properly explained once you take a look at how energy is flowing and moving. So when something is no longer a secret, when someone who has been having a secret animosity towards you and nothing has changed except your ability to see past their bullshit, that's because you've done that in yourself. What do I mean by that? I mean that the only way to be able to discern externally a bullshit from the truth, when you're being bullshitted by another being, the only way to determine that is by being radically honest with yourself and all the ways you have been bullshitting yourself and all the ways you have a propensity to bullshit yourself. And we all do. We all do because we were all programmed into that across lifetimes, eras, incarnations. And this is a lifetime and incarnation where we've been diligently picking that shit apart, undoing the programming, clearing out the densities, assigning blame where it belongs, including taking full accountability for all the ways we contributed to the cycles by either not seeing them, adding energy to them, believing the stories about ourselves that needed to be maintained in order for those cycles to be alive. We're taking radical responsibility and accountability, because when you want to be a conscious creator, when you want to get back your God power, when you want to get back your resources, you're not going to be given them if you're not in full authority over self. Being a conscious creator puts us back on the same level as, well, not the same level, but it gives us back our source abilities, our primordial abilities, right? And so that requires a level of accountability, vulnerability, transparency, and it's within self. It's not with other beings. It will extend and transfer to the way you relate to other beings naturally when the fountain is flowing from within self. Okay, and this is what Yeshua was teaching, in some of the things they allowed to be in what they call their Holy Bible. In some of the things that he says in there, which is really scraping the surface of everything he actually shared with humanity. He speaks about how he has a fountain of flowing living water that's eternal, right? And it never runs out. He's speaking about his own life force. When we are tuned into the ability to connect with our own life force and to connect with source, and therefore the origin of our truth and where we have not only come from, but what continues to keep us eternally flowing, when we're able to do that, then we no longer feel the need to have to, first of all, energy harvest, but also we don't have to live in deception. And when I say we don't have to energy harvest, if that made you feel uncomfortable in any way, then you are still in denial of the part you played in the cycle, because we all were being energy harvested, but we also were energy harvesting. Anytime we sought to get our needs met externally, instead of going internally, and we manipulated ourselves and others in order to get that done, whether it was by pretending to be super nice to get someone to do something for us, which we've all done. Anyway, we've manipulated the truth in order to get a result that we felt we couldn't get in truth. We have been a part of an energy harvesting exchange. It's how the false matrix was kept alive. So we all had our part in it, although many of us were huge victims of the larger intentional purposes of stealing our life force energy. On the ground, in our intimate exchanges, we were purposely. And this is why you can't even feel bad about it, really. You can't feel guilty about it because you didn't know. It's not like you were running around, if you're vibing with me and you're not just someone who is one of these beings who just likes to listen because they are trying to be nosy and to spy. But if you're genuine, then you're probably not a person who is consciously trying to take anything from anyone. And yet in your woundedness, you did. In my woundedness, I did. And, many beings who are not able to get to the next level of where they want to go, it's because they can't admit these simple truths to themselves about their own shadow. In order to get back the fullness of your God power and authority, in order to see past all the matrix veils, you must see past all of the matrix veils within yourself. You must recognize all the ways you were programmed out of your divine settings. You must be so transparent, radical, and real with self that everything that shows up in your external reality for you to experience becomes so transparently true and real to you too. Because remember, we are holographic beings. Everything we're seeing externally is only showing back to us what is playing internally in our own energy fields. Everything that is being played into our external reality, everything we're experiencing is just a playback of what is going on in our energy fields. Now, this is a really important thing to know because a lot of people get fucked off when you say things like you attracted this to you. And you should get fucked off because it's like it's assigning blame where it doesn't fully belong. And yet, because of the pride that rises in the insult and the injury that comes when people say things like that to us or to you, and you may feel some type of way, it doesn't give us the opportunity to take personal responsibility and authority because we're offended. But the truth is that while we may not attract our circumstances, none of us is running around here trying to call in shitty situations. What is going on in our energy fields in terms of how we've been programmed out of our truth is our calling card. And as such, it is our responsibility to change our divine settings, our internal settings back to what it takes for us to now call in experiences we love. And to some people that might sound daunting, but if you really are getting what I'm saying, it should be really liberating. Because when you realize that nothing and nobody can control your external reality but you, based upon what you are choosing to believe and partake in, and in terms of your own mental and emotional energy, then it means that you have the ability to go in there and start to shift the way you think, shift the way you feel, clear out, the emotional densities that have fed sickness and have, and I'm talking about sickness as just being an imbalanced energy that produces malignancy, produces these things that we don't want. And they're not things that are either really bad or good. They're just lessons. It's how we use them. And the more we realize this about ourselves, the more we're living and we're walking in truth, the more we're being completely transparent with our own souls, the more we're engaging in those deep conversations with our shadow, the more we're refusing to let pride and ego cast veils over our truth, over the hidden truths within our own energy field. The more we're doing that for ourselves, the less anyone can dupe us in their own deceptions. You see, no deception can come into your field and not be revealed for as long as you are not living in self-deception. In other words, in order for us to actually get caught up in someone else's lie, which is, very big in the matrix, because everyone, including us once upon a time, we were walking around in pure self-deception. All of us were. Okay? It was necessary to keep us in self-deception, to keep the programs running. Now, the minute that you take back your authority and say, fuck this, I'm not living in this narrative, I'm not wearing this mask, I'm not taking on this fake matrix identity, the minute you decide to do that is the minute the game is over for those players that are moving deceptively in your life. And the more that you unveil the truth within yourself and you connect with your power, your divine purpose, your cosmological blueprint, your energy blueprint, who you actually are, what you came here to be, your soul's purpose outside of all of the dogmas and the programs that the Matrix was trying to get your consciousness caught and contracted to. The minute you begin to see how all that shit works and how it has programmed you out of yourself and you connect with the truth of who you are, the minute that everything and everyone in front of you begins to show their asses, for better or for worse. And it's a wonderful mechanism that you have in your energy field, because everything is constantly being shown to us in order for us to make a decision as to whether we want to continue to create more of that experience based upon our own internal settings. Now, it was less obvious. It only becomes more obvious that this is what is happening as we come into truth, deeper levels of truth within ourselves. You want to reach the highest levels of esoteric wisdom and knowledge that so many beings want you to believe is like so far out of your reach. It's not. All it requires is that you come back into truth with yourself. The more you dismantle any layer that has kept you deceived, the more you access universal wisdom, universal knowledge, esoteric truths, begin to not only become informational to you, but you tap into the wisdom within your own soul that already has known, integrated, and assimilated that lesson maybe across many lifetimes before the stint you've had in the matrix, the false matrix. So that's what I have for you. I want to give you a few things that were showing up. In terms of extra messages, especially for those of you who, I don't know, like you need the extra confirmation, or if this is going to help undo something deeper for you. Okay, so South Africa came up, Sangoma, or medical woman, or medical man, or medical person, a healer. You could even say a witch doctor. And that's not what a Sangoma is, but that's what's coming up now too. Because you have people who dabble in these kinds of practices to do the right thing. And then you have beings who are dabbling in it for the wrong reasons, you know. And it's not a reflection of the entirety of the profession. It's just an individual being's choice, how they're going to administer the power they've been entrusted with. So there's something here. NDA. As in a contract, or even as in breaking down those letters into initials, NDA, ADN, DAN, DAN, ADN, I already said that, AND, and NAD. You know, take those three letters and play around with them if you like. But these are all things that were coming through. These are the numbers that were coming through, and I'm going to share with you the tarot cards that were coming through the numerology also. So the number 14, the number 4, the number 1, 144, 41, 441, 1441, and this could be on the time also, you know, like a 241, 1441, 1414, which would be 214. But yeah, ones and fours. And when ones and fours are coming through strongly, it means the beginning of a new foundation, So the reason why secret, quote unquote, animosity is no longer a secret, and everything and everyone is showing their ass to you left, right, and center right now. It's not for you to sit back and grab the popcorn and enjoy the show. Although, I mean, you can, you know, like you need to feed your shadow also. Don't starve it. Don't pretend like some of these things that are coming in, while you must be humble, you don't want to bring forth a nasty lesson for yourself because you believe that watching someone else's karmic due who has harmed you is gives you license to bring extra suffering into their reality. That's not it at all. But also don't completely deny that part of yourself that is feeling restitution coming forth, because for many of you, these things that are coming to a close are not just occurrences that have happened this lifetime. This has been a recurring story that has kept you fucked for thousands of years, for eons, since the previous golden age, since Atlantis. So the fact that your soul, I guess the better word would be relief, doesn't feel relief at seeing these energies shift in your favor. Don't deny your soul the opportunity to have that relief. Okay, so I forget why I was sharing that, but to go back to the numbers 14, 41, 14, the establishing, so there's an establishing of a new foundation energetically for you to build a new reality. And this is not just personally, this is just a reflection of what is happening to us collectively too. This means that in the collective energies, this is going to be a grand time of exposure. Now the exposures might be very obvious, but they might be a little bit less obvious. And again, you're going to have to be able to see between the lines based upon your ability to see between the lines within yourself. But either way, the things that have kept deceptions alive, that fed matrix cycles, those things are crumbling, because through this new moon in Taurus, the new earth financial, the true earth financial system, which is based upon your frequential worth, your cosmological truth, it's rising back into the status it always had originally when the earth was in proper order, under proper cosmological, I don't want to say controls, but administration, right? So one of the messages that was coming through was new rules, new management. There's like a new administration, and there was another word that was coming through earlier, not earlier today, yesterday it was coming through. I can't think of it right now. If I think about it, I'll when I do another one of these messages, I'll drop it in there, because I think I'm going to do a few of these today. Regulators, that was the word. New regulations, new regulators, new administration. That's what's being accomplished and established energetically through the new moon in Taurus. And that is within you as an individual, but also within the context of what is about to roll out in all of the new financial systems on the earth. Okay, so that 1-4 energy is about the introduction of a new spiritual idea, reality, information that is being it is being energetically established. It's being directed to create a new foundation upon which a new era in your reality personally, but also collectively, is being established. So the new foundation is being set through this new moon in Taurus, right? And a new foundation in your reality, not only for you, but also for your those who come after you, or those of you who have children or any form of legacy, whether it's literally offspring or your creations. Everything is being established now to set a new foundation for a new era and a new story in these things, for as long as the beings that you're connected to are doing the work also, unless, of course, they're children and they're minors. Okay, so we can't drag anyone into the new earth with us. It has to be a frequential choice based upon beings doing the work. Okay, but the ability for you to begin to set the foundation for your new life, it's here. That's what we're doing right now. We're no longer warring. Not that we don't have battles to fight and to face, but the main energy of now, if you're rolling with me, is not that of war, but it's about now the establishment of peace. The reestablishment of peace within your own field on every plane, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and materially, and the reestablishment of peace on earth. Okay, so the cards that came out in accordance with this 1, 4, and 14 energy is the Magician and the Emperor, as well as the Temperance card. So again, this is showing me the creation or the coming forth of something that is being founded, established, protected, enforced also. enforced is another thing you should know through this Emperor energy. And the Temperance is the balancing between the heavens and the earth. There's a grand balancing that's taking place across all planes to ensure the proper establishment and the enforcement of these new energetic templates that over time, as we continue to connect with them, we're building a new reality. The new earth isn't something, as far as I've seen, and I could be wrong, and I leave room to be wrong, because I would love to be wrong in this area. Especially, I would love if there would be a moment where we would click our fingers and all of a sudden we're in a new earth. And yes, it's possible. Absolutely. There could be a grand shift that comes that pushes us. Absolutely. It is so possible. Energetically, I could even break down how it's possible. And yet the way that we get to that place is still going to be through the layering of energy that has happened across time, that has brought us to this grand shift that is also going to be very connected to the planetary and the solar energies that further magnify what it is we've already been doing on the ground, if that makes sense. So in other words, everything, and this is what we're being reminded of again, everything that is in existence, it's been created and built in and by and through us, right? Energy, before it materializes and manifests, it's built invisibly on other planes through our thoughts, through our emotions, and then the applied energy that brings it forth materially. And so in order to bring forth the many things that some beings want to see on our earth, it's going to take time. In the same way it took for us to get to this place of fuckery, it took thousands of years. It's going to take time to rise into a place where the collective truth reflects this vision that many of us have had, right? And it's not going to take as long, of course, and that's dependent upon us, because what we're actually doing is we have the ability, when we are fully connected and empowered in our truth, we have the ability to create out of nothing in an instant. In other words, you can materialize something out of thin air just by thinking about it without having to wait to put the work towards it. As a being, as a high frequency being, you have that ability. But most of us haven't re-accessed that yet. And in order to bring that kind of energy back onto the earth, we all have to be, not all, but there have to be some who are diligent in getting there, because that's what opens the window for others to see how to get there too. That's the point of even, high frequency beings coming back onto the planet. Nothing can be materialized unless it first happens by somebody opening that door and making it possible for everyone else on an energetic level. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So our ability to, in other words, collapse the densities that keep time and space, so slowing everything down and slowing down our conscious creations and manifestations, those densities can be collapsed, but it's going to take us reconnecting to the mental picture of ourselves that allows for us to do that. In the same way that Yeshua, for example, was able to heal a sickness instantly, right? Or able to walk on water. Those are all things that are possible for us to do. But we have to believe it's possible, and not just, believe it in theory. But energy don't lie. You have to embody what you want to produce. So if you want to produce supernatural things, you have to not only believe in the possibility of your being supernatural, you must own and embody that truth until it's forced to become your reality. And there are beings who have been sent to do that. Maybe you're one of those. And in doing that, it's going to usher forth this new, what we're calling the new earth, the true earth. It's going to usher it in even faster, if that makes sense. Or I should say, the way that we experience time, because time is also, the experience of time is highly subjective too. So another thing, and then I'm going to close. Telepathy and gifts are coming in right now really strongly. So gifts are coming in stronger, your psychic gifts, because of this ability to live in your truth. As you live in radical honesty to yourself, you unveil more gifts and resources, because now you hold the frequency and truth that enables you to flow with these gifts with ease. So another big thing, like I said before, it's all gifts, but telepathy is really magnified at this time. And to be completely honest, it is every year. Every year through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini season, your ability to move higher in your telepathic abilities, it increases based upon your awareness. So what do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that you can't tap in every part of the year, of course, but there are because of certain cycles and energies, it makes, there are certain times where it's easier for us to access certain things. So through the Aries, Taurus, and Gemini energy, as well as to an extent, the energies that share that axis. So it would be Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, Sagittarius. Through those energies, we have the ability to either access or heighten and attune telepathy, right? But mainly through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, because those are the first 3 signs on the zodiac wheel, and they are connected with what I like to say is the mind of God, the mind of Source, the mental energy of Source. The way that we mentally express Source energy comes through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And because telepathy is based upon the ability to connect with mental energies, other beings' mental energies, this is why through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, our ability to connect and to flow with greater ease with our telepathic gifts or getting those back, it becomes magnified. So when you know this, you can also tap in deeper and utilize the power of the season to rise in that specific area and gifting, if that is what you so desire. Okay? So yeah, I think that's what I want to share about that. Let me see. Yes. That's it, I think. So I will be back again probably later today because I've got more of these messages, these downloads. The Black Hat messages are working really well for sharing downloads. And when I'm ready to do actual readings with cards, you'll see me again on video. And I might do a reading later if I have the time. But for now, I will be sharing my downloads in this format. So thank you for listening. If you would like to book a one-to-one soul recovery appointment with me or book yourself in for a reading, you can do so by visiting my website, solarah.info. All information is there. Okay. If you are interested in joining me for a Road Back to Wholeness small group session this month, or Tarot Astrology group Q&A, all that information will be available sometime this week, maybe even later on today. I will be working on posting the information and the ability to book for those events, as well as the information. If you're on Ko-Fi, if you're following me over on Ko-Fi, then you will see when I bring those updates, and I'm going to try to be a little bit more active on Ko-Fi in terms of, sending out a message to those of you guys who are there, so you know when I've updated my shop, when there are new decrees in there, when there are specials, and when I release the tickets for these group Q&As. So if you want to know first, it's best for you to connect with me over on Ko-Fi, but I, of course, will be sharing it here and on the community board. What else? If you'd like to join me over on SUBSTACK, where I do write over there about 6 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week, and also do, energy reports for the week ahead, etc., then please feel free to do so through the link in the description box and the comment section below. If you would like to donate to my channels, my work, my art, my well-being, or in gratitude, you can do so through my Ko-Fi or my PayPal, which is also going to be below. And I want to thank all of you who have given to me in any way, whether it is by way of donation, purchasing of services, decrees, etc. I really do appreciate all the ways you help me to be secure enough in my own reality and energy so that I can show up here and help you rise into that level of internal peace also, because that's what it is all about. So I think this is where I'm going to bid you adieu. I will see you again. I wish you guys love, joy, peace, bliss, stability, every beautiful thing under the sun that is actually your birthright. And the more you claim that in truth and you embody it, the more it can't do anything but become a reality in your life. So I'll see you again soon. Take care.